Howdy. You make me feel really underdressed.
I think this ideology of, social justice and victimhood ultimately is Marxism.
Yes.
And as someone who came from Venezuela escaping communism, you can imagine the terror that I feel. When I see the state of the media and academia and given the Democratic nomination, also politics. So my question to you is, why does Marxism refuse to die?
Marxism refuses to die because Marxism gives people a utopia to live for. There's a great book called Secondhand Time that I'm reading right now, which is kind of an oral history of the Soviet Union. It's from all these people who were, it just won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 2015. Great book. I highly recommend it. And it's all these people who lived through the Soviet Union and then the fall of the Soviet Union, and all these people who were really excited when the Soviet Union fell, but now it's been replaced by Putin's Russia, and they're nostalgic for the Soviet Union again. They want Stalin back. Stalin shirts are still selling out in Russia, where people's ancestors were being murdered. And there's a book by Daniel Jurgen and Joseph Stanislaw called The Commanding Heights. It came out in 1999. And what they said is by the end of the decade of the 90s, capitalism had defeated communism. But they said communism will come back, socialism will come back. And the reason is because in the 1930s, look at the Spanish Civil War, people were dying from the communist side. In the Spanish Civil War, it was communist versus fascist. People on the communist side were dying with the words, this was the rumor anyway, Stalin on their lips. Nobody dies with the words free markets on their lips. Nobody dies with the words nice house on their lips. And the fact is that because American conservatives have not pitched our case in terms of morality and decency and what's right and wrong and what's good and bad, we've instead pitched our case in terms of, look, here's some nice stuff. That's not a winning message. George Orwell wrote a fantastic essay. You should go back and look it up. It's the single best political essay ever written. 1940, he writes about why does Adolf Hitler's Germany rise? Why are young people signing up for Nazism when it clearly is such a flawed philosophy, deeply evil, guaranteeing blood and pain, right? And what he says is, what we here in the West don't understand is that nice houses and decent cars and enough food to eat, all of that's nice enough, but there's still a yearning in the human soul for something more. There's a yearning in the human soul for flag flying, and there's a yearning in the human soul for the sound of guns, right? I mean, there's a yearning in the human soul to fight for something, to make your life matter. Now, as religion declines in the West, and this has been one of the major factors, people don't find their meaning anymore in the idea that I am doing something good on behalf of my fellow man. Instead, they say, I need a utopia to belong to. I need a communal cause to identify with. That's why you see people marching in the streets. That's why you wouldn't see one of these kids who's doing this before stand up and do this by himself, right? You need a bunch of people to do it together. It's important because now you're part of something larger and you're brave and you're special. Right? You wouldn't do it as an individual. As an individual, you could actually have a conversation. But you're virtuous by membership in this clique. So the reason communism will rise again and is rising again and Marxism is rising again is because it says we're more moral, we will provide a utopia, and you can be part of building that utopia no matter how miserable you are. It doesn't matter if we dragged your parents off and killed them in the gulags. All that matters is that you were part of something great, that you were part of something wonderful. Right? And that's not what America is. America says it's your job to be a wonderful person. It's your job to take care of your family. You want to make America great again, okay, the way to do that is by making yourself and your family great again. The way to do that is by being a decent person, independent of trying to grab the levers of government and use them to shape humanity. That's what the founders thought making America great in the first place was all about. But we have to make that moral argument. We can never stop making that moral argument. And the more we make the argument that our policies just make you richer, people don't care. People don't care, especially in a rich country. In a poor country, people care. Right? In a rich country, it's all fun and games because we can talk until the cows come home about social justice, so long as we get to go home and sleep at night in our nice warm bed sponsored by the state at a top university. But it's a lot harder to talk about social justice when you're eating dogs because you have nothing else to eat, as they are in Venezuela because all the shelves are empty. Thanks so much.